hello, I have watched Renfield. That's right, Dracula's back, baby, and it's Nic Cage. I watched Renfield, the kind of sequel to the original Bela Lugosi Dracula. Kind of, but not really. Yeah, so this is the foray back into trying to make the Dark World universe happen. And of course, I don't think that's going to happen. But this is one of 2 Dracula movies that is actually coming out this year. The Voyage of the Demeter is coming out later this year. Anyways, this is Renfield, as they say, directed by Chris McKay, who's done the Lego Batman movie and Tomorrow War. And this movie, Renfield, stars Nicholas Hoult as Renfield. He is Dracula's familiar. And we are in present day. We catch up with a bunch of narration, and we find out, obviously Nic Cage is Count Dracula. And they do a nice little throwback to the original movie, and they recreate some scenes. And then they come to modern day. They're in New Orleans. Dracula is he's in an old abandoned hospital or psych ward or some big building that used to be something for mental patients or something like that. And basically, Renfield is finally fed up with being Dracula's familiar and is going to a support group meeting and gets the bright idea to leave Dracula and try to start life anew. But as he's doing this, he's trying to beat up bad guys. He's like trying to get bad guys, like criminals, for Dracula to eat, but Dracula has a very acquired taste for innocent people. Because Dracula's a bad guy, duh. This movie also stars Awkwafina as a cop who's just can't get anywhere, Rebecca Quincy, and then Ben Schwartz himself, plays Teddy Lobo, part of the crime family, and his mom is also a part of it. And there are parts that are very good, I will say that. Nicolas Cage as Dracula is exactly what you want. He is like a mix between Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee and Nic Cage, all morphed into Dracula, and he's playing it his own way. Because this is a comedy at the end of the day, or at least trying to be. And Nic Cage, you cast him for him to do his thing. And he does his thing, and it's wonderful, and it's great. Nicholas Hoult has to basically play a straight man in this movie. He is devoid, his character, Renfield, for some reason, is devoid of any characterization other than victim. And I know they play with that idea in the movie, and I like what they did, but he feels, they say this in the movie, but he feels like an empty husk of a character. He doesn't really have any motivations beyond, I don't want to do this anymore, which is fair. Sometimes you're in a toxic relationship and you just want out. But it feels like they didn't give Nicholas Hoult a lot to play with, and if they did, it was either edited out or cut, or maybe I just missed the point. But when Nicholas Hoult and Nic Cage are acting together, the movie really shines. It's really great when they're doing Dracula and Renfield. Where the movie falls apart is like this whole corrupt police department, gang, crime, family stuff. It's just dull. It's just dull. It is no amount of acting can save what that part of the movie is. And props for Awkwafina and Ben Schwartz for trying, but I just did not like any of that story whatsoever. And also, it just felt so rushed. It was dull and rushed both at the same time, which is hard to do. But like I'm saying, so you have this dull, boring part of the movie with this really compelling stuff with Dracula. You mix them together, you get an average movie. It's not great. It's not bad. I wish they would have just thrown the police department stuff out. I just want Nic Cage being Dracula for the whole movie. And he's barely in the movie, which is kind of a bummer. There was just long stretches of just nothing important happening the whole time You're just waiting for Dracula and Renfield. There's a really good fight scene near the end of the movie, and then there's some sort of action in the middle. But yeah, it's whatever. If you like Nic Cage, you'll go watch it for Dracula, regardless of what I say here. If you like the mythos of Renfield and Dracula, I don't know why I just did it that way, but go watch it and see what you think. I mean, some people may enjoy it more than me, but that whole police department storyline, I just was not into it, and it didn't feel fully fleshed out. It needed more time. I did like how Renfield's powers worked. Maybe we'll get something better. Maybe we'll get a Nicolas Cage sequel where it's just Dracula trying to come back to life. Who knows? I'm going to give this 5 out of 10 bugs. It is at times good, at times very bad. And Nic Cage is great as Dracula. I loved it. The chemistry with Nicholas Hoult is good. Just don't get enough of it. And that's my review of Renfield.
Un esercito di pro